Well, good morning, traders. Happy Tuesday, February 8th, 2011. We are moving up in the euro off those pivot lows from yesterday where we saw demand stepping into the system. You can see the daily we've pushed back into the prior balance area now. Again, this is a continued to buy pullbacks and play this range back and forth inside this last balance area as we were looking at yesterday. So nice move in the overnight. Came close to retesting those 35.50 area. Didn't quite get down all the way to it. The buyer stepped in a little bit more aggressively than you might have expected. If you were trading in the overnight session, you had an opportunity a couple times actually. Watching the chart here, after we broke through the balance area yesterday, we moved up into the first target objectives, came back last night, and then that's where we launched from. It was really right around that 35.60 area, right at the breakout area of the prior balance area, these prior pivot highs right here at 35.69. Of course, that occurred at about 10 o'clock at night it was. Actually about 8 o'clock at night, and then it took off. You had several high volume nodes way up over here. Looking at this next one right here, 36.40 area, 36.30, looking for them to pivot and move this back up to the highs. When we start scooting much further to the left here, there's not going to be much, all right? There's a lot of air and a lot of void where this can get a really nice move. The markets took a little bit of a hit this morning in the equity markets due to the China news raising their interest rates. Now, yesterday we saw distribution occurring all afternoon in the markets. Let's get to the S&P daily chart here. All right, let's take a look at the ESE mini daily chart. Those of you who have taken our intro to value-based trading, you would recognize that we were in a stage 1 on the daily time frame out of this balance area. We were looking for stages of stage 2 to start to form, and I think we saw that yesterday afternoon, late in the day, as distribution continued to come in up at these highs. You could see where we have a topping tail where we closed, and then now in the new session here, another topping tail starting to form. But again, the daily is in a strong uptrend still. There's no denying that fact. But again, from the 4 stages of market activity, we've got to be looking for stage 2 to form, and then look for stage 3 to begin and to develop to see if we get a new structured area up here in this market. Now, if you look at where the volume is coming in for the last couple weeks here of February, actually last week and this week, again, we've got a lot of support underneath us here at 1303 area. When we go to the 30 and 60 minute time frame, we would see our first signs of balance. All right, it rallied up to the highs from yesterday in the overnight session. They came back down and retested those areas, and we have a nice balance area. So, the first signs of stage 2 yesterday on the daily session, yes. Can we go to a 3 on the 30 and 60 minute? Yes. So right now it's looking as though the lows, the buy low, sell high routine, and again, of course, always favoring the buy low when we're in an uptrend, okay? We continue to get demand here even pre-market. So there's your new, again, holding this low, volume coming in at the 15s here. S&P still got an hour to go before the open. So we're virtually just trading on pure technicals this week. There's not a lot of news until we get later in the week. This balance area will be looking most likely for a rotation day today. If we blow through these lows, then that opens up the door for us to go challenge, obviously, these high volumes back from here, the 10s, and then also back into the midpoint of this prior balance area, which would take us back to that 7 area, and then there's naked point of controls on the daily down here at 04s. So this morning, and again, after the interest rate news, big sell-off, 2x top, I think, again, if there's continued distribution today, we take advantage of these rallies to go back up into these areas and look to short them. Now, as I said yesterday morning, we'll come back and retest last week's value areas in both markets. The S&P, you've got 1306.5 being the value area high in the point of control at 04. That takes us back down into these areas here. So at some point during the week, we'll see a retest of those. And would rather it occur sooner than later, but again, there's no guarantee in the markets about anything. All we can do is look at the structure, set it a plan for the day, and as of right now, it's by the 14-15 area here, and look for it to run back to yesterday's point of control, which is up here at the 18 area, and see if we can't get there before the open or slightly after the open. Settlement price, right in this area, right where we're currently trading. So if we get above it here within the next hour, maybe a pullback one more time into this area and then lift off and go back towards the highs from yesterday. So the point in the routine here is that we're in balance. We're in a balanced trading area from 1320s to 1314s. Our job as market profile trend traders is to buy the lows and sell the highs, with obviously favoring the buy low because we're still in a stage 1 on the daily time frame. That still says more upside. Until that changes and we get a correction in that, we'll be looking for the potential on the daily as of yesterday, a new stage 2, and then of course going into stage 3 here. Same thing is going to apply on the NASDAQ daily. Yesterday we broke out. We actually came into some significant retracement levels here from the 2002 levels up at that 2358. We had a lot of responsive sellers that came in at that area and pushed us back down. Nice topping tail yesterday into the close. What's going to be very important here in the next day or so on this NASDAQ is as to whether or not it's going to close back inside the prior balance area. If that does, we could look at this as being a probe failure, and at that point we would auction all the way back through the range and look for these lows to be retested back down here, because a failure to the top side out of a mature profile or a value area would send us out the other side of it. So we'll keep an eye on that today too. That'll be a very pivotal area here. Whether or not the NASDAQ does fold under pressure up at these tops here. All right, I think that's our morning brief. We'll get ready here for the day. Be ready in either direction. Obviously, we're in balance also on the 60-minute time frame on the NASDAQ. And again, welcome to Beyond Profile. If you haven't taken your free 5-day trial, be sure that you visit our website at beyondprofile.com and sign up for that, and we'll see you in the room.